Sitting down talking, and I told him I had scolded him, and he was mad at me for like 2 days. And one morning, the third morning, I got up going to work early in the morning, and he came to me after not talking to me for 2 days, and he said, "Auntie, give me a leave 5 now." So I tell her, I say, "Kjiel, you say, Auntie, we already talked to, but I want to give you the 5. Because he was kind and loving. He was also grouchy, but he had his ways. But he's not a bad person to say no one would want to kill him."
That was one of the fondest memories of Kjiel Young, a Belize City youth from the Vernon Street area, whose life was cut short on Saturday night, just a block away from where he lived. Following the brazen shooting around 9 o'clock that night, another Belize City family is grieving the loss of their loved one to the persistent gun violence. Young died moments after being shot with a 9mm pistol by a lone gunman.
Sometime around 9:30 p.m., police responded to a shooting on Vernon Street. Upon the arrival at number 45 Vernon Street, they learned that one Kjiel Young, 19 years, was shot at that location. While he was seated in the yard, he was approached from behind by a lone gunman who fired several shots at him, which led to his passing away.
Kjiel was shot multiple times to the back as he sat on a chair in front of this house on Vernon Street with his back facing the street. The 19-year-old former student of Gwen Lizaraga High School was outside the house rolling up a stick of weed when he was ambushed from behind. His aunt, Kenisha Velasquez, says he was shot 4 times to the back.
I was playing Mega Bingo. After that, I heard about 7 shots fired. When the shots had stopped, I said that it was the opposite way from where the shots were really coming from. And my boyfriend told me, no, it was right from in front of Miss Babsy. So I remember my daughter was out there, and I ran out. He told me not to go, but when I remember my daughter was out there, I came out and I run down the step and I run out there on the street. And before I get to my sister's gate, the young lady from where it happened came bawling out for my sister, and I said, "Oh my God, the Kjiel gets shot." And by the time I reached to the scene where it happened, 2 of his friends were already put him in the back of a pickup, and I stopped the vehicle and I jumped into the vehicle. Before we left from behind here, he had died. He didn't die at the hospital. They were planning for a party, so everybody else was inside, and they told him to either come in or go home, and he stayed right there and rolled his weed, and I guess he didn't feel any way about sitting out there by himself. He got about 5 or 6 shots, where I know he got like about 4 or 5 in his back, 1 in his foot. Where the other one went, I don't know, but I count about 5 or 6.
Within minutes, however, his life was cut short. Information is that Young was involved in a hard talk with an individual prior to the fatal attack on him. Could that have been the motive behind his killing? From all accounts from relatives and friends as well as the police, Kjiel was not a part of any gang, nor has he had run-ins with the law.
At this time, we do not really have a motive. Investigators are still out on the ground at this time trying to establish a motive and at the same time in search of a suspect.
So is Mr. known to police as a troublemaker?
I can't say at this time. We don't have anything to say at this time that he's known to the police on that scale.
I don't know about him having any problems with anybody. I'm not saying they don't go through little stuff because it's a crowd of them that hangs out, but I would say petty things like argument off bicycle and different things like that, but to say somebody out there, he had a problem with her, people were threatening him, we don't know anything about that. He had just graduated from Belize last year. He's 19 years old, he was doing construction work. When he come home, he hangs out there where the whole neighborhood goes to hang out. It's not anything gang affiliated or anything like that.
The incident is even more heart-wrenching for the family because this is now the 2nd brother gone.
We don't even know who did it. That's the thing that has us puzzled. We don't know who did it. But whosoever did it, all I am saying to them, my sister lost one of her kids already. She has 3, so now she's only left with 1. And what they have her going through and have our family going through, it isn't nice for nobody to go through. He's young. He had his whole life ahead of him.
Dwayne Moody for News.